And away we go.
All right, so I'm not gonna lie, we have a lot of news today. It's
We sure do.
both good, both bad, especially stuff that happened yesterday. But let's get right into the news.
Yeah, Liz, where do we begin? Because there's so many stories that are making the rounds on social media and somewhere in the
Yeah,
internet.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, so many things just happened. So many things just happened yesterday in pertaining to death, unfortunately. And literally, like, I think, like, the majority of this week is just been filled with, like, just mostly death. I'm gonna be honest with you. Other things too, but just like most prominent figures, like, just going, like, when you didn't expect them to, like, actually go. Man. But yeah. I guess we can start with this story then. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. So pretty much, it was in the news yesterday that Hulk Hogan uh died at 71 years old due to cardiac arrest. And I'm not gonna lie, that actually did shock me yesterday because I'm not gonna lie, I personally thought he had a good 10 to 20 years left in him. I really did not expect that at all yesterday. It's also very sad. It's also something that's yeah. It's like it's anyways. Yeah, it's like I didn't really expect that to happen yesterday. It's very unfortunate because like I was legit. I was on the train yesterday when I found out about this, and it's just man. I personally thought we were gonna have until like he was like 81, 81 to 85. Maybe 5 more years left in him, but like still, it's, it shocked me because I'm a wrestler. I didn't grow up watching Hulk Hogan. I just knew of Hulk Hogan. I knew about the things that he said, that he did. But nonetheless, I didn't hold that against him. There were a bunch of people. There were even people online who were celebrating his death. I'm like, bro, what is wrong? The dude was a senior citizen. I mean, yeah, sure, he said some things in the past, but it's like, bro, it's like give him the benefit of the doubt now. Show him some grace, like you would want people to show you grace. The dude is 71 years old. He's a senior citizen. Was a senior citizen. But yeah, it's just a really sad thing, like for Hulk Hogan fans and just for anybody who just liked him in general. Whether if it was for his wrestling or his politics, I'm pretty sure the majority of it was for his wrestling. But yeah, if people became a fan of him because of his political views, it's definitely a sad day for like common Hulk Hogan. I just want to say like may God rest his soul, and he's in a better place now. Definitely in a better place now. That was just the most unexpected news that I got yesterday in regards to like professional wrestling. And I just hope that people stop trolling him now due to his past because it's like, bro, it's like the guy isn't even here anymore. So what do you really? So like really, what do you really hate Dead Man for? Yeah, sure, you can disagree with what he did in the past, but I do believe that people can change. Even Hulk Hogan, man. But yeah, may God rest his soul. But yeah, um, let's my condolences are to his like family and friends and like, people who were near and dear to his heart as well. Uh, yeah, that was just really shocking to me yesterday. But yeah, is there anything else in the news?
FCC approves $8 billion Paramount Skydance merger.
Huh. Okay, let's hear more about that. That sounds somewhat interesting.
On July 24th, 2025, the FCC approved the acquisition and transfer of licenses, clearing the way for the $8 billion deal. Amid pressure from the Trump administration, Paramount agreed earlier this month to pay a $60 million settlement. The FCC also noted Skydance's $1.5 billion investment and appointment of an ombudsman at CBS News, highlighted by Brendan Carr. The approval enables David Ellison, Skydance CEO, to assume control, with Ana Gomez dissenting in the 2-1 vote. Pending closing in the coming weeks, the deal aims to invigorate Paramount Studio, expand digital distribution, and streamline costs under a new corporate banner, positioning positioning Skydance to reshape the media landscape through cost efficiency and expanded distribution.
Well, I'm gonna say this man, like whatever Paramount Studios is up to, whatever they're gonna do from here on out, wish them nothing but the best. Never gonna wish for the downfall of anybody, even if I disagree with them. Even if I do disagree with them, I would just wish for them to only do better and continue to do better. And yeah, it seems like it seems like a really big deal. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 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 exactly. But, yeah, is there anything else in this?
Meta to ban political ads in EU due to blocks unworkable rules.
Huh. And political ads due to. Okay, I'm trying to hear more about that. Let's get some more context on that.
Meta platforms will stop political, electoral, and social issue ads in the European Union starting in early October 2025 due to legal uncertainties caused by EU rules. Meta expressed that the transparency and targeting of political advertising creates an unworkable level of complexity for advertisers in the EU. The EU introduced these political advertising rules to enhance transparency following the Cambridge Analytica scandal in 2018. Meta described the TTPA requirements as unworkable and stated that they introduced significant additional obligations for advertisers.
So the reason why they're banning these political ads is unworkable. I mean, I'm just gonna say this, man. Like, we really truly don't have any. I'm not surprised, but it's just, it's like we just really don't have any form of like free speech, man. Like people cannot. Uh, it honestly, sometimes I feel like I've run out of things to say because I believe I've said everything I've said, like in regards to like issues such as this. It's just not fair, but at the same time, life is also not fair. So, I mean, hey, if it doesn't hurt their business, then I could say they can do whatever they want. Once again, I don't really care that much about politics. If it's hurting your business, fine. It's not like politics is really going to be important in the future, be that important in the future, unless like elections, whatnot. Honestly, not surprised, but whatever they're talking about. But I'm just gonna go out of the women's statements. Whatever they think is unworkable, it's probably not even that bad. I'm gonna be honest. Unless they were glorifying something that was genuinely harmful to people and harmful to children, then sure, fine. But I honestly I don't believe that whatever they're saying is considered unworkable. It's probably not even that unworkable. They just don't like it. But
The thing is,
hey,
the thing is, the EU in general is just overcomplicating stuff that doesn't need to be complicated to begin with. It's either keep the ads on the platform or you don't. There is no in between. Like, even if you do put specific requirements or asterisks or whatever loopholes, there are going to be people that are going to find a workaround about it, and they can technically go ahead with what they're doing, even though on paper it says you cannot do that. But they'll argue, well, actually, we found a loophole, so technically we're allowed to do that. Like, like, yeah, I get the intention of what they're doing, but it doesn't have to be so complicated or complex. It's either keep them or you don't.
yeah, no, exactly. It's like they really do overcomplicate stuff. Man. Like, you're not gonna. It just comes down to this. You're not gonna please everyone. You're not gonna please everyone. So it's like yeah, it's like they're probably most likely gonna find a loophole around it and say, oh yeah, no, this is workable. This is workable. It's not going against anything. Yada yada yada. But yeah, it's like they really do overcomplicate this type of stuff, and it's just to the common person who likes politics or supports a specific type of politics. Yeah, it's annoying. But to the regular person like me who does not really care that much about the politics, I'm like, all right, like, whatever you want to. All right, it's like either do it or don't do it. It's like don't overcomplicate it. Don't say all this extra stuff just to kind of justify justify it. It's just whatever to me. It really is just whatever, honestly. You know, not that big of a deal. And yeah, once more, whatever they're saying is unworkable. It's probably not even that bad to begin with. But I could be wrong. Yeah, shoot. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah. Usually, like when they say something is like just just you can't work with it. It's usually not that bad. There are small instances where yeah, they're justified for doing this and that, etc. We'd even say yeah, okay, fine. They're justified for doing that. Just like we did like a report probably a couple weeks ago, probably or a month ago or something. We were talking about like YouTube not paying like creators who use like I believe it has something to do with like AI videos or something like that. And I'm like, all right, yeah, like, that's reasonable because it's like you want to actually allow people who are actually making stuff for your platform to get paid like what they deserve instead of like people just like stealing instead of people just like stealing content and just like not making content based on like a burning desire inside. They would think it's making it just to make money off someone else's likeness or anything like that. But yeah, everything is just complicated with these people, and it's gonna continue to remain complicated for as long as me and you live. But yeah, it is what it is.
And it was what it was.
That's true. But yeah, what else is in the news?
Russian rocket puts Iran satellite into space.
All right, let's hear more about that.
On July 5th, 2025, Roscosmos launched a Soyuz 2B rocket carrying two Ionosphera M satellites, an Iranian Nahid 2 satellite, and 18 secondary payloads from Vostochny Cosmodrome, having forged a strategic treaty in January. Russia signed an agreement with Iran, commissioning a multi-satellite mission involving the Iranian Space Agency and the Iranian Space Research Center. Russian Spaceweb said Ionosphera M3 and 4 will fly in a plane perpendicular to their predecessors, expanding three-dimensional magnetosphere coverage, and Nahid 2 features an indigenous propulsion system capable of altitude adjustment by 50 kilometers. The satellite's endurance supports operational longevity, as Nahid 2's Iranian-made lithium-ion batteries are designed for tens of thousands of charge cycles. Nahid 2 is set for a 5-year lifespan, reflecting Iran's ongoing plans for sustained space operations amid broader international cooperation trends.
You know, that's all great to hear. What an accomplishment. Right? I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie. Yeah, but it's a great accomplishment. It's a great accomplishment by and I know that this is probably never gonna happen. This is unrelated, but I will say this: there's no way I can truly, there's no way I can really truly believe that people people done this. Now I know it's never gonna happen, either I believe it. unless unless I do it, unless I do it myself. Believe that other like rockets went to space or like anything like. That. But let's talk as if it did. As if I believe it happened. What an accomplishment from Russia, though. If it did happen.
and
I think in Iran. What an accomplishment whatsoever. Congratulations. Um, yeah, continue to do big things. I personally can't see in 2025 to almost 2026 what other big things can people do. Like that can either be newsworthy or just anything just such a thing. So I'm not gonna lie. I feel like as far as like the world is concerned, most people have done pretty much everything that there is. So it's hard to either be unique or just to find the next big thing that you can do. But This is in of itself is pretty big. So like, congratulations to Russia and Iran. Obviously, people for good work. That's all I gotta say about that. But yeah. What else in the news?
Zelensky announces new anti-graft bill in Ukraine after public outcry and EU criticism.
Hmm, interesting. Let's hear more about that.
July 23rd, 2025, Ukrainians held their first wartime rally in Kharkiv against a law curbing anti-corruption agency independence amid Russia's attack. Facing raids and arrests the day before, Parliament expedited the bill, a move that critics say undermines anti-corruption independence. Mass opposition emerged in Kiev, Lviv, Dnipro, and Odessa, a day after critics warned the law undermined NABU and SAPO independence. The EU's top official expressed strong concern to Zelensky and asked for an explanation. According to the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, Parliament is expected to hold an emergency session next week to review a draft bill set to restore agency independence proposed by Zelensky.
This is very interesting. Honestly, where do you believe that this is going to lead? Does this lead to anything like good or bad whatsoever?
I've seen a couple posts on social media regarding the protests about this bill, and not saying all Ukrainians, but I've seen plenty of Ukrainians protesting against the bill because this is what this bill is proposing is that the two bodies for that tackles corruption would be, I'm not sure if all exists out, but it sounds from what I've heard, it's like the bill is ensuring that those two anti-corruption bodies are to be put under the control of the president, which is a massive conflict of interest, and B, a situation that is likely to reinforce or at least increase longevity of the current Ukrainian government. That's roughly what I've heard on social media. I know people would have other things to say about that, but a lot of people in Ukraine, or the Ukrainian people in general, hearing about this, they do not sound so happy about it whatsoever, and they really have took to the streets in the capital of Ukraine to protest against that bill.
I mean, yeah, I just don't, yeah, like, just from that. If people are already against it and don't like it, man, you gotta like do something. Right? Otherwise, like the few people who are not against it will come against it once it's actually fully in play. So it's like I know you're not gonna please everybody, but it's like kind of gotta just like have the people believe in you, especially if it's a conflict of interest. So it's
There
like
was a
it's just
there was a reason and independent for there's a reason for those two bodies to be separate and independent from the government. Like, I'm not saying corruption in Ukraine is bad as Russia or even worse than Russia, but there has been corruption within Ukraine even after they gained independence from the Soviet Union, and I think that's the case with a lot of countries around the world that isn't as developed as the Western world. So I absolutely understand why people would be protesting against the bill where the NABU and the SPO would potentially and allegedly, I hope it does go through, where those powers would fall under the government. So that's all I have to say, and that's all I currently know as of this moment.
yeah, yeah. I think that's all I have to say as well. But, yeah. What else is in the news?
Maui panel passes bill to curb vacation rentals and boost housing supply after Lahaina wildfire.
All right, let's hear more about that.
Maui County Council members passed a bill to prohibit short-term vacation rentals in about 6,100 condominiums to provide housing for residents after the Lahaina wildfire destroyed about 5,500 homes. The bill aims to free up many of the condos for purchase or long-term rental by residents to address the chronic housing shortage exacerbated by the Lahaina fire. Some council members raised concerns about imposing the charge on condos unsuitable for resident housing due to high costs and potential litigation by owners, while others view it as a necessary action.
Well, I will say this: for anybody who's affected by that by a wildfire, maybe with them, just hope that everyone knows safely. Wildfire, like just wildfires in general, like and yeah, it's like honestly speaking, it's not a favorable situation to be in. That's not just that's simply just not a favorable favorable situation be a part of. Yeah, I wouldn't really know. I would not really know. I cannot relate to that whatsoever. Yeah, it's just something that's it's just something that's like just not. It's just something that's very important too. Honestly speaking, you know, just pray for everybody. In and of itself, it's just not. It's just not good to be a part of. Like, but yeah, like, honestly speaking, yeah, and I hope that everything gets fixed. You know, in due time it will. But ultimately speaking, you lose a possession, it's like you need to be replaced. Like, a life can't do it. You really only live once. So, you just kind of live, just like we talked about like earlier. You know, people can just die unexpectedly like that, unexpectedly. So it's better to just enjoy this life, and hopefully you'll make it into the next life after this. But yeah, is there anything else on the news?
E-News to end this year after 3 decades.
What?
Yes, E-News.
Sounds like something I'd come up with because my name is Eric. E.
E-News will end on September 25th after over 30 years on the air, as reported by The Hollywood Reporter. The show will continue online, but will no longer be available as a linear TV show, according to sources with knowledge of the decision. Current hosts Kelty Knight and Justin Sylvester have not yet commented on the show's cancellation, as reported on July 24th. The cancellation of E! News follows Stephen Colbert's announcement regarding the end of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in May 2026.
You know what? If it's just gonna be an internet thing, E-News is actually the right name for it because you know how people call internet girls E-girls or it's just internet boys E-boys.
Yeah,
E-News. It's on the internet. E-News. That's perfect actually. It's actually the
brilliant,
perfect
yes.
name. Yeah, but dang, I wonder why after 30 years they're getting canceled though. Like, was it like the lack of viewership? Was it like a political
I mean,
opinion?
it's been going on for 3 decades.
Wow.
If a show's been going on for that long, surely there should be a handful of people that would enjoy watching the show, regardless of what's been covered.
Yeah, that's true. But I do wonder though, was E-News at all just accurate, was biased, was it mutual? Like, huh. Once again, that's the first time I'm hearing about E-News. But hey,
Yeah, me
if
too.
they're gonna continue doing if they're gonna continue doing their thing on the internet, then that's fine, man. Hey, I mean, they're following the footsteps of the new generation, and also, iCarly. You get it. But anyways, yeah, but yeah, it's I think the internet in of itself is the way to go. Just have the funds and have the money to just fund it, and I would hope that through their YouTube videos they would be getting paid to do, or through whatever websites that they set up for themselves for their internet show that everything just comes falls into place. all falls into place. Perfect. Yeah, if you made the money, then sure, yeah, you need to do your thing. You take your brand elsewhere. Like this, even report on what you want actually too. If they had any restrictions too, it's like you can report on what you want. No change, unless you're compromised. But other than that, no change. You're like no shackles on you whatsoever. All right, good luck. To E News, I say good luck. 3 decades. Interesting. But yeah, like my wishes and prayers are with E News. They're gonna be doing great. They're gonna do great. Yeah. Is there anything else I can do?
Russian parliament approves a bill punishing online searches for information deemed extremist.
Punishing online searches. Why? What's his reason?
On July 18th, Russian authorities announced plans to block WhatsApp, the nation's most popular messaging platform, as part of digital sovereignty efforts. Following the Duma vote, the Russian government passed a law criminalizing extremist searches with a compliance deadline of September 1st, 2025, set by President Vladimir Putin. Under the new law, the legislation bars top VPNs, imposes 1,000, 5,000 ruble fines for extremist searches, and up to 80,000 rubles fine for VPN advertising. Gorelkin noted on Telegram that Russian lawmakers believe it's time for WhatsApp to prepare to leave the Russian market. According to the Russian Digital Development Minister Maksut Shadeyev, VK developed Max with capabilities surpassing foreign apps, offering WeChat-like functions.
Interesting. Russia's gonna ban WhatsApp. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I personally don't use WhatsApp like that. I mean, I have it on my phone, if it's for work or whatever. Yeah, it's like I don't really use it all that often. Hey, punishing extremist searches, like I'm trying to wonder what he means, what they mean by that, what he means by extremist. What do they mean by right wing searches? Or like, I'm a little confused. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little confused on what he means by extremist searches. Honestly, um, I'm not gonna agree nor disagree with Putin's, decision. I'm pretty sure he has his reasons. I'm pretty sure he has his reasons for doing such things. So for that, I say, do your thing, unless I'm just like, just familiar with like, why he's doing it completely. I legitimately can't be against it nor be for it. Honestly, it is what it is.
And it was what it was.
And I will also say this. I mean, if you're censoring people, it's one thing to censor people who are just like, all the way extreme and want to hurt people, but if you're just simply, searching out authors, I think that's the stupidest thing to like, censor. If you're just seeking answers from or from
That
someone.
could be very, very subjective on what people believe is extremist in their viewpoint.
That's true. It can be extremely subjective. People see it extremely, what people see it like just regular, street speak. Yeah, but I would say we would have to see what like, Russian extremists are searching up to see if it actually is extreme, like, or anything. I suppose if it's something in the lines of how to kill the president of Russia, how to kill the president. Yeah, sure, fine. Okay. If it's to that point, then sure, fine. Other than that, I just can't say. I just have to know what exactly is Putin trying to censor. Also, what? Well, I'll be honest. I'm not even gonna defend WhatsApp because it's not exactly like I said, it's not exactly my go-to. Like, I just use it a couple times for work and for maybe search, maybe like search like group chat. But that's about it. So I don't live there. Do what you gotta do. I'm pretty sure he has his reasons. Do what you gotta do, Putin. Go on,
Yeah.
Yeah, is there anything else I need?
World's smallest known snake found under rocks in Barbados after nearly 20.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds definitely sounds interesting. Let's hear more about that.
On Wednesday, Rewild and Barbados' Ministry of Environment revealed that the Barbados thread snake was found again during an ecological survey conducted in central Barbados in March. The rediscovery followed more than a year of searching by local authorities and conservationists after no documented sightings since 2006 and nearly 20 years lost to science. During the survey, Connor Blades uncovered the tiny blind snake under a rock by a jack-in-the-box tree, examined it under a microscope, and then released it back to the forest. Blades described the snake as very cryptic, while Justin Springer called the rediscovery so exciting and said it shows something important remains in the ecosystem. Scientists hope this finding encourages ongoing conservation efforts in Barbados, where the thread snake could help promote habitat protection amid severe deforestation challenges.
Do you have any like thoughts on this?
Well, fabulous. If they found something, they found something, and they can find a way to protect whatever wildlife is on the island, then do what has to be done.
Yeah, exactly. I really don't. Yeah, I don't really have to like that many like thoughts on this. This is great. This is great to hear. Protect the, yeah, just protect it. And maybe if you can, make it, have it reproduce, have more of it, have more like more of that wildlife, so it doesn't completely go extinct. That's all I pretty much have to say about that. But yeah, in other news, the app T is now the #1 app on the App Store. T is a women-only app where users anonymously share info and men to spot red flags and get. I'll be honest, I didn't even know this app existed up until like yesterday. I did not know an app such as that even existed up until yesterday. But honestly, it's not a surprise. I mean, it's not a surprise that this app exists. I mean, women just gossip about like their love lives and miserable they are, how miserable they are. Some of them might not even be miserable. Some of them might just be. I'm gonna be honest. Some of them might just be bored. I would hope that some women don't go on that app just for a laugh. I'm gonna be honest, just to laugh at like some of the comments and not actually like participate in this. All I'm gonna say is, man, like there's an app called Tea. If there was an app called Coffee, and I saw this comment, and I saw this comment on Twitter. If there was an app called Coffee, where it was for dudes, people would just call it misogynistic. Where like where they talked about women and red flags, yada yada yada. People would just call that like misogynistic. Or I don't know, maybe like who knows? Maybe like, but apps like this are like they can be good, but at the same time they can also be dangerous. Who knows, man? Like there might be some murderous. This is a very small chance, by the way. I'm not saying it's most likely. There might be some murderous man-hating woman out there who confesses that she wants to like harm a man she's in a relationship with, or harm all men just because like he's a man. Just like there could be a man out there who would want to harm women out there because it's like women don't look his way. The point is these apps like this could be used for good, but ultimately speaking, it's like they're just toxic. Yeah, it's like there's really no good in toxicity. There's nothing good that can come from toxicity or anything such as that. But that's just me. I'm pretty sure that's other people's. That is what as of right now. But yeah. Is there anything else in the news?
Harry and Meghan's Netflix deal faces new bombshell.
New bombshell. Let's hit it.
Negotiations with Netflix quietly concluded the $165 million deal with Archwell Productions after 4 years, with Netflix opting not to renew, citing insufficient return on investment. Underperformance emerged as a key factor, as with Love, Meghan underperformed and Harry's polo documentary attracted only about 500,000 viewers. After stepping back from royal duties, the Sussexes signed the 2020 deal promising impactful series, and both parties quietly agreed to part ways without an announcement. Sources say the fallout, with Netflix opting not to renew the deal, is a major financial and reputational blow, risking Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Montecito lifestyle without steady revenue. Discussions for a first-look deal with Paramount Plus as a potential partner are underway for future projects, following the conclusion of the Netflix agreement.
I will say this is definitely something. This is definitely something to look. It's definitely some interesting news. But did Netflix make the right choice? I don't really know. If it did, it's definitely something interesting to look into a bit more. What are your thoughts?
Well, regardless of what people think about the decision Netflix has made, what are the couple going to do now until they find a new streaming service partner? People have to realize that although life is going great for them with whatever series they're on, the series that they're on now isn't going to last forever. You're going to have a backup plan, and I haven't heard anything else besides them not having their deal with Netflix being renewed. So I hope there is a backup plan for the couple, but if not, then who knows what's going to happen until they actually find another partner for doing different series on streaming services.
I would say you always need to have a plan in case something doesn't work out. Because it's just easy to get comfortable in one place and complacent. But yeah, you're right. You always need to have a backup plan, whether that's you doing your own making your own podcast, or it's you making building a brand, that's so big that you will never really run out.
We're talking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's not getting their deal with Netflix being renewed.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, right. Anyways, yeah, you always gotta have a backup plan. You always gotta have a backup plan, because ultimately speaking, it's you never really know what's gonna happen. You, you never really know where you're gonna be in the next couple of years, in the next couple of months. Dude, I mean, why do you think actors get so many acting jobs? It's you can't be comfortable on one thing unless that's the only thing you wanted to do in your acting career, sure. But you always gotta work on other projects as well, or with other projects, and just build a brand for yourself. Because ultimately speaking, yeah, it's easily uncertain. I mean, not everyone can be the biggest actor in the world. Not everyone can be a Dwayne Johnson or literally any other actor with a huge following. It's just I wouldn't say I'd be too worried. I'm pretty sure they'll find something. I'm sure they'll find something else. They'll find a new deal. They'll get exactly what they need. But if they don't, they probably have enough money. They probably have enough money to last until they figure out the next venture. So, uh, yeah. So I'm not necessarily that worried about them. But yeah, is there anything else in the news?
Now, this is genius.
What's genius about it?
I'll play a video which I just saw.
In the wallet. That sent out an electrical charge that zapped the guy, and then he's on the ground complaining about how he doesn't quite feel right. The American allegedly brought dozens of these wallets to Paris so that people could just kind of steal them from him, and he would oblige their efforts to steal them from him, and then he would watch as they walk away and try to take the contents. The American guy says it's like the best reality TV show of all time, except he gets to be a producer and also have a front row seat to the drama. The ER doctor treating the pickpocketer got to examine the wallet and said that it was an absolutely brilliant feat of engineering to stop these thieves. A pickpocket.
Was that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's the video.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'd say that's definitely that's definitely genius. So it's definitely a genius idea.
It is. Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you have any like further thoughts on it?
Well, other than saying that is genius, I would also like to add, I hope something like this is implemented everywhere. Like, even if it's in cities that doesn't have high crime rates, I still like to see this happen anyway. Just to see if there's people that are just genuinely curious. How would they react and what do they plan on doing about that? Now, I'm not encouraging people to do this kind of stuff, nor I want people that are innocent to be harmed. I'm just curious because, of course, it's a serious issue that people's people's stuff are being snatched by thieves in major cities around the world, and seeing something like this would be not just a benefit to local major cities, but also a great source of entertainment for those that are just bored and just want to see what new show is the next big thing that is not a reality show or possibly something much greater than a soap opera or some kind of drama series.
Yeah, like, I 100% agree. Unrelated, do people still like make sitcoms? Like, are
Hmm.
sitcoms still a thing?
They're still somewhat a thing, but depending
I
on
don't think it's
what kind of sitcoms we're talking about, the sitcoms today, if there are any, aren't the same as the sitcoms that were released years ago. There is an evolution in television, not just
yeah,
in
that's
cinematography or the way the ways that shows being shot, but also the style of which sitcoms are being executed.
true. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really seen that many sitcoms, like, as of late. I might be under a rock or something, but I don't know. Also, low key, I feel like it really depends on how you pace it, because it's like, I feel like if it has to be the right amount of modern without being cringe, you know? It has to be the right, it has to, it has to be the right amount of, like, 21st century modern while also still having that sitcom charm to it. If it's too modern, then it's just cringe. If it's not too modern, if it's not modern, if it's, like, old fashioned, then, well, I really don't know. But yeah, it's like, it has to have that right amount of modern, right amount of modern, uh, that like I can't talk. That right amount of modern charms while also still having that sitcom like charm with the jokes, with the comical relief. I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. Is there anything else in the news?
Kremlin says Putin and Zelensky can only meet as final step to peace deal.
Huh. Okay. I hear more about that. Yeah. Let's hear.
On July 25th, the Kremlin said that a summit between Putin and Zelensky could only happen as a final step to seal a peace deal. Under Trump's 50-day ultimatum, Kiev proposed an August meeting to meet the deadline, and President Donald Trump threatened new sanctions unless a deal is sealed by early September. On July 25th, the Russian Defense Ministry announced the capture of Farachini in Sumy region. Meanwhile, President Zelensky said that talks have begun to discuss a meeting format. Stalled talks continue even as Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov described the positions as diametrically opposed, while negotiations remain deadlocked, with Ukraine refusing to cede territory. A summit scheduled for September 3rd will bring Putin, Zelensky, and Xi Jinping together, and the coming weeks could provide decisive for diplomacy or further conflict.
I will say this. Well, hopefully nothing like bad breaks out, and to the point where this deal is compromised in any way, shape, or form, and hopefully everything just goes by smoothly. Um, just just ensure that there's always a form of peace between, Anything else in the news?
Let's see. IRS
Well,
might get rid of non-English language tax service.
they might get rid of non-English. They might get rid of what?
Non-English language tax services.
Okay, got you. Let's hear more about that. Why is that?
The IRS is reportedly considering eliminating tax help for non-English speaking taxpayers. The Washington Post reports that Attorney General Pam Bondi has ordered officials to come up with plans on how to phase out multilingual offerings in favor of English language proficiency programs. Critics say eliminating such programs will lead to non-English speaking callers who seek tax advice to get discouraged and hang up without getting the help they need to pay their taxes.
So
The
they're going to get rid
guidance
of like.
states a shared language binds Americans together, transcending different backgrounds to create a common foundation for public discourse, government operations, and civic life, while leaving ample room for vibrant linguistic diversity that thrives in private and community spheres.
So pretty much like they're just going to completely just start like taxes for like non-English speaking people.
Yeah, they're going to get rid of some kind. They're going to phase out supports for non-English speakers that pay taxes to the U.S.'s.
So we are like the people who do not speak English whatsoever are free from paying taxes. I still have to pay my taxes. I'm not even gonna bother getting mad. It's not fair, really not fair. I'm pretty sure every English speaker would love to not do that. Would love to privilege to not do it. But I'm gonna be honest too. There might be a bigger plan in place on why that's happening as well. There might be a bigger plan. And yeah, I guess the only way to appeal to non-English speaking people or foreigners is by giving them certain treatments that we don't have. One of them. So, okay. I'm not gonna get mad at the foreigner. I'm not even gonna get mad at them. It's unfortunate, but what am I gonna do? All I can do is talk about it. All I can do is disagree with it. So we're gonna
It
make
really is
more
something.
people want. It's gonna make more people want to come. It's like, yeah, we don't have to pay taxes, or yeah, but they'll be saying that in a different way. But yeah, it's definitely something to ponder. But it is what it is.
It was what it was.
Yeah, I'll let the writer, left-wing people kind of disagree with it. I disagree with it too, but I'm just kind of done. I'm kind of done complaining about stuff that I can't. I'll talk about it, sure, but I'm kind of done with it. Beyond my control, honestly. I mean, unless we all unite simultaneously, just express our discomfort and express our frustration, not even just frustration with it. Then man, there's nothing that we can do about it. What is there to do? But yeah, is there anything else in the news?
Heathrow Airport evacuated after fire alert with long delays.
That's a fire alert. Okay. I'm just gonna hope that I am gonna hope that no one got hurt from that fire. But yeah, let's read what is that about.
Passengers have been evacuated from Heathrow Airport following reports of a fire. Travellers in Terminal 3 were told to exit the busy London airport, leading to widespread confusion and disruption during one of the busiest periods of the summer holiday season. The baggage
Alright.
claim has been closed as staff respond to the alarm. Heathrow responded to concerns on social media and confirmed the evacuation. They said, while the fire service investigate a fire alarm, some areas of Terminal 3 have been temporarily evacuated. Holidaymakers reported being in a standstill as an alarm went off earlier near the baggage claim. One passenger said, "What the hell is going on? That is impossible. You've got everyone, kids, disabled people, crew, all just waiting. Border control is not processing anyone. There must be at least 10 flights that have landed and it's just waiting here. No announcements, no one knows what's going on."
Well, man, well, definitely that is a pitfall. So like, it is definitely a pickle right there. Now we'll just, and obviously, like, it seems like everyone got out safely. No one got hurt. So, yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation to be in, but I'm just gonna say this: stuff like that can be prepared. Stuff like that can always, like, be fixed and prepared. Like, but once again, a life is, it's like a life is, life in itself, like, it's that, that part can be prepared. Everything else can be prepared in weeks, months, even probably years. But I would give it weeks. But yeah, uh, as long as everyone got out safely, that's what's really important, you know. So according to that report, doesn't seem like anyone got hurt. So I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear, and that's something to look. That's something to look up at. No one got hurt. Sure, things were damaged, but no one got hurt. That's the important part. But yeah, what else is in the news?
Musk's Starlink hits with hours-long outage after rollout of T-Mobile satellite service.
Interesting. Let's hear.
On Thursday, July 24th, 2025, SpaceX's Starlink experienced a major outage caused by internal software failure, with SpaceX saying it is actively implementing a solution. Over the past few years, T-Mobile partnered with SpaceX's Starlink to develop T-Satellite, which entered beta in January 2025 for select Samsung devices. Using over 650 satellites, T-Satellite enables text messaging, including to 911 and location sharing when cellular signals are unavailable. After beta, non-T-Mobile users on Verizon and AT&T can subscribe, with plans starting at $10 per month before rising to $15, T-Mobile said. T-Mobile plans to add picture sharing and data coverage to optimize apps, and current Starlink technology could support medium-resolution images, plus music and podcast streaming.
All right, that all sounds pretty interesting. Wish them the best of luck. It all definitely sounds interesting. Hope they do and hope they do get. Yeah, it all sounds pretty good.
But that changes nothing
Yeah,
about space.
yeah, true, true. It pretty changes nothing, but it all sounds pretty good, pretty decent. You know,
And I hope to
about
see if something
T-Mobile.
like this happens all over Europe as well.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. I hope so too. So, best of luck to them, and let's see how far they can go. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be something like next year or in a couple months, something new. But right now, let's see how far they go. But yeah, anything else in the news?
More than 135,000 displaced as Thailand-Cambodia border clashes enter second day.
Oh, let's hear more about that.
Intense fighting erupted on Thursday between Thailand and Cambodia along their disputed border near temples in Serene and Odar, Miniche provinces, and the clashes followed escalating tensions since May, triggered by a Cambodian soldier's death in a brief gunfire exchange and sustained bombardments by Cambodian forces. The fighting continued into Friday with rockets, artillery, and Thai F-16 jets exchanged, and tens of thousands of villagers evacuated from border areas in both countries. Thailand reported 14 deaths, including civilians and one soldier. Cambodia confirmed its first fatality, and more than 138,000 people were displaced from the border regions. International actors urged restraint, with Malaysia offering mediation, and the United Nations Security Council scheduling emergency talks to reduce tensions and seek dialogue.
Yeah, do you have any initial thoughts on that?
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. However, from what I've heard from the last few months, maybe a year or two, looking at stories about tensions, military action, and people's lives being lost, I hope a solution does come about. And even if there isn't a solution that's in sight at the moment, there will come a point where people will speak out on this issue. People on both sides will want this to stop. It will come to that point if this keeps going. I will say that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. There's definitely going to come a point where, it gets to a boiling point, and like this will have to, it'll have to end eventually. Yeah, like this boiling point, you ultimately have to make a choice on what you want, or, it's either this or that. You'll have to make a choice eventually. We're just going to wait and see how long it takes you to make that same choice. Is there anything else in the news?
That's us.
All right. Peace.
Peace.